This is Just Amazon on Tuesday, April 2nd, 2019. Looking at what we did today, a whole lot of nothing. We had such a small candle day. We just went sideways way up here. I mean, I still have, so there's wicks way down here that are throwing off the movement we had on the chart. If I just look at today, I mean, it looks massive until you realize we were totally range bound by like $15, 1805 up to 1820. This was almost a tweezer top. I mean, close enough to be called one. 1819, 93 and 1820. Totally could have played this as a tweezer top, get in below the low here. Unfortunately, the target would have been 1815, our first target. That was not even 1-to-1. And then this is where we were looking for it to bounce. Well, let me start over. The other day, I was looking for it to gap up. Or was it yesterday? I was looking for it to gap up above 1815, pull back into it, and bounce. And so that's what this looked like it was going to be. Now, it didn't actually gap up above. We ran up, looked like we're going to do kind of like a double top on it. I don't know what that candle means. Starts to roll down, get a retest of 1815 from below, and then rolls over. And so that was a pretty good move down. It stayed above the low from the initial candle. This was a great hammer candle. I mean, it looks massive. Again, if you zoom out, it's really not a huge candle. But still, that's a really decent hammer. It should go higher. There are a lot of people getting in on this candle. And then it did this candle and basically rolled over right here from 1815. Didn't quite stop those people out. So that really was the only thing going for it. And then with this candle being a small hammer, you could have done the same thing, getting in above a stop below and traded that back up into 1815. And that would have worked. Again, looking like it's going to roll over right here. Right, let me zoom in some more, sorry. There we go. Looking like it's going to roll over right here. But this turned out to be just a two-candle pennant that ends up breaking out. And then we ended up with, let's see, is that a shaved top? Yeah, a shaved top candle into a high wave indecision candle, another high wave indecision candle, and then a pullback. It's like, oh, this is looking great. It looks like it should go. And there were people getting in on this candle. Again, a little bit increase in volume here. Really small candle here. All these say, hey, we could go higher. This is where you'd want it to go higher. So very clearly here, from this candle to this one, we're not going higher. This is breaking down again, just like we broke down yesterday every time we came into 1850. Now, today we actually got above it, which, is actually a good thing. And then once we get above it, we really pulled right back down, broke down below it. And I was trying to picture some of today with kind of a triangle like this. And I was trying to get like the apex right at 1815, because it's like, okay, we know that 1815 is a key level. So it was kind of looking like something like that, some lower highs, higher lows, but then it broke down here. It didn't continue down. And so it's like, okay, you got to take that one and kind of go this way. And well, that actually fits pretty well. And then if I take this one and be like, well, okay, I did this, now I got this. It's like there was no real good place to say, okay, we're making a triangle, it's about to break. I mean, maybe you could have said something like this. Something like this. And that's the breakdown. And there was some decent volume that came in right here. Some real decent volume. It didn't roll over. So I was watching this and saw the volume on these two candles. I'm like, oh man, that we could totally break down. Like this could be working. They made the inside candle. And then we had this candle with a shaved bottom, almost shaved bottom, actually shaved bottom. This candle took out the high of this one. I'm like, that's not good for a candle with such high volume bearish. Maybe I'm like thinking we have an hour left to the market. could we really break out up here? It's like, it's not going to happen today. It's just not. I mean, maybe we could get this, picturing this here. It's like maybe we could get a roll over here and roll back down. And I was eyeing that for a bearish move here, and that didn't even happen. You could have gotten in below the low here. Really small, 15 minutes, really small candles, and that moved up higher. It's like, okay, we've been running into this resistance all day, not 1815. We've been chopping around on it, but we've run up into this 1816, 1817, really 1817 has held as a really good high today, other than this initial breakout. What's interesting here with this breakout is the low here was 18, 17, 16, and the high here was 18, 17, 17. This candle actually retested into the range of this candle by a penny. Anyway, random side note. If we put this up here, about 18, 17, just that candle got back into it. The rest of these have been below it. It's like, okay, we're right back up into it. This is a good place to actually, get into some puts. And you could have made a few bucks right here with a little bit of a rollover. Would have been nice if it had actually, if this triangle had worked and it broke down, really retested all the way back up to this. Retested this, retested the high, and then rolled over. That would have been phenomenal in the last half hour. But it didn't really drop, severely. So that was kind of the triangle activity today. Tomorrow, we really need to get a gap up above 16. I'm sorry, not 16. We really need to get a gap up above 1817. And any bears that we're getting on through here, trap them. Any bulls, you get a little bit of retest. It could retest 1815 and then bounce. Same as what I was looking for yesterday for today. A gap up to pull back and run. Pull back to your S curve and run. So I still want to see that happen. I don't know if it's going to be very aggressive, just because we're in that phase of this where we're just making small candles. I mean, look at how we've just grinded higher on small candles. Bad example. Let me zoom back out on this a little bit. And most of our way up, here, and this S curve here, and this move here, were just some small bullish candles. Now this one is especially small, especially on the daily. You can see that is a very small candle, like incredibly small. The range was under 15 bucks. I remember doing this recently. I was trying to find some of these smaller candles. Here's a range of 1377. That was on February 22nd, which was a Friday, right? Yeah, so really small candle on a Friday. I don't remember why I have this in here. Let's get rid of that. Move this triangle in for a little bit. Probably take out the bottom there. Okay. I'm not really interacting with this triangle or with this channel anymore. Let me do one thing while we're zoomed out like this. If I move this over here, oh, that's interesting. Should have done that a while ago. Okay, did you see what I just did there? Let me do it again. Or you can rewatch the video. If I zoom in a little tighter on this, man, I really want to zoom in tighter. Okay, let's do it like that. Okay, I'm going to take this exact channel. Oh, I didn't do it. There we go. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to drag it over so that this line is right on top of the one we're copying from. And when I do that, I see that the range that we just went, from here to here, if you do that same range from here to here and follow that line down, that's the high we ran into. And then we just gapped above it. I really wish I left this on the chart a while back, because that would have been fortuitous to just have this level on here. I mean, yikes. It's totally X marks the spot kind of target. Like, it's going there. on this day, I mean, that was nearly our open price on that day. And if you had been planning to get up to this level back here, you know, this is moving up. I mean, get a couple extra weeks on your options and just let it run up, because that would have worked so well. Wow, I messed that up. Okay, so sometimes in these videos, I like to say I was wrong. I should have done this different, because I'm learning from it too. And like when I say it in a video and remember it then for later, it's like, okay, very clearly I can do something different, do something better. But this is just blowing my mind right now. This angle down is touching, you know, really close to the high, the high, the high, the high, for these highs here. And I was trying to fit a triangle to this the other day. You remember that, right? I was trying to fit an angle to these. I can't believe I had the angle of the line already, and that it fit the same channel. I can't. I'm like stunned at myself that I didn't realize this before. Oh man, that would have been so much more clear to trade this way. Like even if you had gotten in late, like I was saying, you know, we could run way up here. It's like, no, we're gonna crash into this channel right here. I mean, just like we did here. And that was the last time we were moving back up. It's really distorted to see that, and I've got so many extra lines in here. Okay, if we're down here, and you have this channel, that is a clear target. Like you got to meet it down here somewhere, but get a couple weeks, go out of the money a little bit, 1650, like 1650 calls, a couple weeks out, because anytime we've come down into that low, technically, we've run up into the high. I mean, I'm sorry, not every time. This time is the only time we did not get that high. Every other time when we touched this low, we got into the high of the channel. So, you know, a couple more days later, I mean, you didn't even need a couple weeks, but I'm just saying get a couple weeks, because it'll just, and know what your risk is, because yeah, a couple weeks on options can just disappear in no time. Anyway, ran right into that. In the high, in the high, in the high. 4 candles in a row. We didn't have them in a row this time, but 4 candles following that down. Really nice flag right into the 5. And then a 5th one. And then it moves up through it. And so this was the retest we got of this level of this downtrend channel. Nope, that was not the retest. This was the retest, and we held above it. So I'm going to, all of this. If we repeat this, and I know I talked about this before, like what if this happens? It was around this time in here. I would have to go back and figure out. It was late January, early February that I was talking about. What if we just move up into that? We just did. And now we're above it. What if we do this again? It's going to be annoying to go that slow. If we can, let's see, what was earnings? Earnings was 31st. So we should have earnings right at the end of April. Okay. So if earnings are around, let's see what's on here. Yeah. Okay. So earnings aren't drawn in, but if we have earnings right here, I mean, that's a long time. We could totally follow this same angle down through all of this and just chop around again. I mean, could totally work. Let me annotate this and see. And again, I could be totally wrong. I may not do that, but when we get it out, come back, bounce, come back. Okay. My drawing needs to be cleared. Let's try that again. I'm really bad at drawing this. Need to practice drawing on my screen some more with the mouse. Almost. Okay. Switch back to the mouse. Now I'm going to copy. Can I select? Copy. Can I duplicate? I don't remember how to do it. I just do this so infrequently, I don't remember. Oops. Select. No. select. Can I copy it? Copy, paste. No, it didn't like it. Okay, what if we do this? How cool would that be? Okay, trying to just move the chart forward. Oh, I should have done that. Great, now I gotta go this back. Get it to fit again. Okay, it was something, it was close to that, right? So I'm gonna move this forward again. Try to move my chart. Why is this not? Okay. I just shifted it again. Sorry. See, figure it as we go. Okay. Something like that. There you go. Looks okay. Looks all right. All right. If I take this and move this over here. Oh, I love that fit. We break out. We pull back in a couple days. Come right into the 21. Bounce back up to the 1815. Pull back into 1747. Bounce run up to 18, whatever that is, 1870 something. Pull back, probably into 1747, run back up. I love these high, like, okay. I love what I'm drawing here. It doesn't have to do this, but how cool would it be? I love that high and that high. I love this low. I love that low. And then if the 21 continues up, I love that. And then that one's a little bit off. I love this right here, 1747, 1747. I mean, this fits so well to what we did all through here. I mean, if we do all that again, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. That's that repeated. I mean, you know, markets are cyclical at times, other times they do something different, but what if that repeats? I mean, it fits the lines really well. So this is a video for April 2nd. I'm trying to make a mental note. If this happens like this, how cool would that be? Just to have these levels, to have all this stuff, you know, sketched in here. I mean, you could make your plan, you know, however this is going to bounce around and do stuff. Oh, I forgot to circle one. Come on. Let me try and circle that. I'm just staring at this like, wow, that'd be amazing if that happened. So amazing. I really want to copy this. Can I copy this somehow? Can I not? Can I save? What does save do? Screen saved. Show in folder. I don't know what that's going to do. Show in folder. Oh, amazing. Okay. I don't know if you can see my screen, but it gave me a screenshot. I think you can only see the Zoom screen. Okay, something was wrong with that. Let me try that again. Because it's got like an extra, it put like an extra circle somehow. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Man, now I want to select all of this over again. Can I select all that? Oh, let me select it. I'm liking this program a little bit more now. Okay. There we go. Like that. There we go. Those are the key levels. Boom, 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 boom. And that's how we ran. Okay. So I'm going to say, let me do a screenshot of that. I'm going to try and figure out what to do with this. There's that screenshot of that. And then I'm going to select, I'm going to grab all this again, except that red one. And I'm going to move this forward to, where did I have it? Where did I have it? It's like this, right? That was a little lower. Was it like that? Oh no, it wasn't like that. Because I drew the 21 right there. So it was like this. Right? Yeah, that was a little better. Something like that. Okay. So I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to grab this and say, what if we do that? What if we do that? I'm going to save that again. Save. Show folder. Okay. I've got a bunch of screenshots now. I'm going to go through those later and figure out something that I can do with that. All right. Because I drew it as part of the Zoom meeting, it's going away. Goodbye. And back to the chart. Okay. Really not too much happening today. There was some lows down here that really were great lows because they came right back into this price where we broke out yesterday of this triangle. I kept the lower side on here, which had some interaction here, but couldn't even get that high today. So we'll probably delete that back off the chart tomorrow. I don't expect us, well, I'll just delete it now. I don't expect us to have any sort of massive gap up there. If we do, I could just redraw it. It was pretty easy to draw this yesterday. So anyway, if you're ready to buy down here, great place for this bounce on the opening candle. Great place for this bounce here. You could have been buying, at the low. So that would have been, let's say, the 1825 call expiring this week. Having an order out there. This came down to $9, $8.99. This one came down to $8.35. So both of these you could have had set up 9 by 8, which, I mean, what would tell you to have a trade set up 9 by 8? Because, I mean, when did that work before? 9 by, I don't even have the chart. There, 9 by 8. That was the exact trade yesterday here. Could have worked again here. And could have worked again here. All going from $9 with a stop at 8, $100 risk, running up to 12. Would have worked yesterday and today and again today. And then could have gone even higher up to 13, 13.50, almost 14, I guess. Yeah, 14. But if you had just set up the same trade that was from down here yesterday, running up here, this running up to here, this running up to here. I mean, all three of these worked running into 1850, essentially. You could have been in $9 running up to 12. That's 3R yesterday and today once, and today a second time. That's 9R in 2 days on the same setup. I love when options do that. It's just sometimes hard to get ahead of it and actually have it set up, have it ready to go. And when I saw this coming, I saw this selling off. I'm like, where's that going to pull back to? I'm like, oh, what if it pulls back in and I didn't have it set up? Did not have that set up, so I missed that. I missed this one too. But this one gave you even better opportunity because when it made this candle, and again, I mean, you may not have been filled if you had this set up 9 by 8 because it like gapped up here. Now that was a really quick mover. We're talking right here where it did this and then ran back up, and I don't know how quickly it did this, but it's possible you weren't filled. I mean, if you had something set up to get in above this candle, you know, you had a stop limit of 9 and a stop at 8 and a target at 12, may or may not have worked. Maybe the stop limit, you need a little bit of different values like 9 and 925 by 825, something like that. You know, tweak it a little bit for how you want to make it work for your trades, what you're doing, especially in these ones that are quick like this. So when we ran up here, that's when the puts kicked in, and this is the 1800 puts expiring Friday, and now our puts with the, that was not supposed to happen. Sorry. Okay, the puts, we had the 7 cents away from a tweezer top. These two candles, the lows were 6 cents off from one another. But same thing, you could have been getting in above and a stop below. And hey, conveniently, it's 9 by 8 again, just like we were just talking about. On the calls from the low, on the puts from the high, you have the same exact price of the options, 9 by 8. It doesn't happen every day like that. It really depends on what price you're at, how far away the strike is, how much premium is baked into the price. Like there's so many things that go into it. So we just happen to be at the right place on each of these. That the same dollar numbers, 9 by 8, worked here as well. Now this did not run up to 12. It actually didn't even get up to 11. So you would not have gotten 2R. You would have had to been, you know, basically scalping this, or once this big candle came in here, getting out at 10, 10.50, something like that. And if you waited to the rollover, well, you're still in, but you're going to be looking for the bounce, and it didn't even bounce to 10. So that's when it's like, if you just hold it, it's just going to grind. Maybe you got out at 10 or 9.50, somewhere in here. After at one point being down half an hour to go back up, you know, half an hour would have been great. You know, so maybe some people were exiting here. I don't know. But the way this was moving, you know, we're talking about making money with the puts. As this runs down, the price was about $11 here. It just totally paused here. The lows, like 25 minutes a row. In 25 minutes, it was making this low in here around 1810 and just held that. And then we bounced, ran right in, look at this, right into 1815 on the nose, started to roll over, bounce again. And another thing I've noticed is when we get some smaller candles, and sometimes it can be larger candles, but we get a bunch of them running up like this, like 25, 30 minutes, get ready for it to roll back down. I've seen this a lot lately. It may just be how things are moving these days, but if I go back, no, it's further back. What was it? There was one of these days I was noticing, okay, I take it back. It hasn't happened a lot lately. In my head, it was happening a lot. There you go. Here's 25 minutes, right back up into the 21 and rolls over. I'm not trying to call a top, you know, but this was a good place to be getting in bearish for a rollover at a resistance. You know, the resistance is established here. So that's a bearish one where it rolls over. On the bearish side, it didn't work here. Had you been getting in bullish here, there wasn't anything to suggest that level was going to work. Here's one where we ran up for like 30 something minutes, and then we ran and stopped right in this line. We're at 1850. This is the last time we were up here, you know. So coming back into today, seeing this, I was anticipating that the way this has been moving, this being a good resistance, we didn't break out. You know, we're right back at the resistance of these candles. This should roll over here. And so this is 1105. If we look at the puts at 1105, that was right here at 850. So again, this is where you could have been getting in 9 by 8. It would have filled you around 850. At that point, you can, lock in some gains, move your stop pretty quickly because you had a great fill. But looking to exit quickly, as this is moving up, like as it's going in your direction, is the best time to exit options. And would have worked for a few bucks, not a few hour, an hour, half an hour, something like that. But the rest of the day was just sideways, just totally sideways. So, yeah, not a lot happening the rest of the day. There was, when this ran up into this resistance again, this is where I was looking to get into puts. I was getting in 8 by 7 and doing that around here, looking for it to move up some in the last half hour. And it just didn't get going. It went sideways here, chopped around quite a bit. And so I just literally scalped a little bit out. I got out at 820, got in at 8, got out at 820, and did that, I think on this, I think that was my, 820. I think I sold in this candle. So I got that high, and then the last 5-minute candle ran up. But I mean, the last 5 minute, it started to go up here. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen in the last 5 minutes. That's one of the hardest things to trade, just because if you don't get filled, then your day trade turns into a swing trade, and that's got to be breaking some rules for people. So getting out before it can go a little crazy in the last 5 minutes is a good way to go. And basically, as soon as I moved my target down to 820, it basically just filled instantly. I don't know if it was right there or what, but it was just chopping around so much. It's like, well, let me just get out. It's obviously not gone in the direction I want. I got in up here, I think, one of these candles for 8, looking for it to roll over quickly. Like this high wave candle coming in, and then this one breaking down. It's like, oh, it's going to go. This is going to collapse. But this uptrend, here, I don't think I drew it all the way like this. Oops. I am not clicking the right thing. There we go. That held really well. I mean, if you just readjust this, I mean, keep the, wow. I'm just trying to get these lows a little better. So if I take this initial low there, that's close, that's close. Let me move this back up a little bit. Okay. That's like dead on. There you go. So take that low. That might be an exact, but that's not either. All right. Low, pretty close to low, 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 and low of the body. Not the wick. Anyway, that was really strong. Plus the 1817 price is really strong, and it didn't get going down. It just held this. So all this said, you got the triangle here that hasn't done anything, hasn't broken out. We have a small bullish candle on the day. If we gap up, it's a bullish retest gap. Let it retest. Let it pull back. Let it give you that bearish candle. Let it go sideways, whatever that retest looks like, because, I'm trying to do this. Because if we can gap up anywhere in here and then pull back to 1815, go sideways and down, let the exponentials, the 5, the 21 catch up a little bit, this thing could just be off to the races. Like, we've really rested here for like a day and a half. Like all of today plus the last half of yesterday as it ran up into this price. This 1815 price is strong. If we can get above it and stay above it, it could last for a while. If we get above it and don't stay above it, look for it to retest from below and probably do some kind of rollover. If we gap down, I kind of have a feeling it's going to be bought back up just because we've been on this bullish tear. The other thing I'm going to draw is, I want to see this. This looks like a channel here. These channels are working. Okay, gets into the, let me grab my cursor. Well, that's cool. Okay, let's look at this. What is that doing? I want to look at this. Okay, so now we've got this uptrend. We're into the low, into the low, into the high. Okay, high, 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 high. Really close to the high. Didn't get to the high. Low, low, got into the low. So this has been on this uptrend here on this channel. Man, I wish I drew some of these channels earlier. This is where I'd expect us to bounce and stay in this range tomorrow. If we can gap up, pull back into this, maybe to 1850, wick down there, maybe hold 820 and don't pull all the way back, that'd be even better. 820, like getting into this and then run up to 1840. What's our line? This line is 1841.30. I see that totally being potential for tomorrow. It could even run past 1841.30 and get up to 1850. It just depends on the amount of time of the day. But let this retest, whatever that retest looks like. Get in on a stair step. Get in on something that's continuing to go bullish, and that's the bullish trade. If we get out of this uptrend channel and we're down here, look for yet another run up into 1815 and cautiously get in bearish if you want to fade it, or if you want to get in the rollover. I say cautiously because this level has been just a magnet. 1815, it's been pulling to this level that if we get below it, yes, we're trapping people. I don't know if we're going to sell off. So again, with a rollover like that, counter trend, maybe just scalp an R, maybe two. If it's working and you can move your stop quickly and it doesn't hit your stop or doesn't trail you out, you can put your target a little further out and let it run. Sometimes those are the hard ones to do, just letting them run when they're working. But just make sure that you've got your risk mitigated appropriately, for that to all work out. So anyway, the only other thing I want to look at was this similar angle to this. So we're a little shallower on this angle. Okay, so we're steeper on, what was that one? What's this line? Okay. So that was a channel I drew before. I don't know why that's not coming through the daily. Oh, maybe it is on the daily. I'm zoomed too far out to see. Hourly. It's not there. Back to the daily. I thought these lines all synced up on the smaller time frame. Something's up that this is not syncing. I'm going to delete this. Don't need that anymore. Why is this not syncing? I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look at that and figure out what's going on. You know what? It might be I've got the endpoints in after hours, and I think right at 30. It should still, well, maybe because of this one's in after hours, it's not going to show up. So let's check that on this one. So I have, where's my endpoints? Okay. This is good. I don't know what's going to happen with this one. So I'm going to right now move this right back into the day like that. And then I'm just, because that's established, and then I'm going to extend to the right. There we go. So this should stay on here. And I don't know why. All right, something's up with the lines syncing across time frames. But anyway, this is what I'm looking at potentially for tomorrow. You got a little bit of like a inverted head and shoulder sort of shape. I guess I'm seeing like a shoulder. Well, it's really wonky angle. This is the neckline. We just haven't gotten above it. This is a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. But to do that, your left shoulder's below your right shoulder. So it's not really a head and shoulder. It's just a really funny shaped one. Anyway, just saying what I'm seeing. Hope all this makes sense. I'm really, really curious on what we're going to do here on the daily. If we can get a couple more days, 1, 2 more days up, and then have a bigger correction, that'd be great to have a correction Thursday or Friday or both of those days going into Friday expiration with a rollover. Or we can make some more sideways candles and make some more small candles as we move up and just grind up, and be careful about calling the top on this stuff, because this is topping here, but it could really just rip higher. So I guess we'll have to be back tomorrow to see what's going to happen next. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.